All right. I'd like to welcome to my show, Head Kick Audio. We got Cory Madden here. He's a professional boxer. Okay. I have had very few professional boxers, maybe just one. Okay. So you might be my second pro boxer here on the show. Welcome, Cory. How are things going? I know you got a fight coming up over at Sparta, the Army versus Marines 12 over in Cheyenne, Wyoming on June 26th. So we're not too far out, but we still got a little bit of time left. So how are things going in the gym?
I feel like we got so much time left. It's going really good now. I'm just picking up where I left off. I took about 4 months off because we introduced my son Cassius to the world back in February. So I retired from training for a bit to welcome him and just hang out with him. So recently I just quit my job so I could focus on training and actually just more or less to hang out with him, because it's an important time. So I will get back to that work situation later. Right now it's just training and just hanging out with my kid.
Okay. When in February, if you don't mind me asking?
February 20th.
February 20th. Yeah, February is a fucking wild month for me. Check this out. Everyone in my household was born within the first 2 weeks of February. Okay. And it even extends to like my mom. I got a nephew. So I'm the 5th. My mom is the 4th. My wife is the 14th. My older daughter is the 13th. And my younger daughter is the 8th.
It's an expensive month.
Yeah. It's basically Christmas number 2, right?
Yeah. Well, that's a busy month.
Well, congratulations. Is that kid numero uno?
That's the first one.
Welcome to fatherhood, my friend. Welcome to fatherhood. How's it been so far?
Thank you. It's been good, actually. I'm glad it happened at the time that it happened at. When I was younger, I was definitely not ready for any of that kind of stuff. I was too busy living recklessly in my 20s. So it's, the timing's perfect.
Absolutely. Well, and it also gives you that little bit extra to fight for, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How different do you feel, since you've been a dad? Like, has training been any different? Have you noticed any extra motivation in the gym? Anything like that?
The only thing that's been different is the energy level, because sometimes he doesn't want you to sleep all the way through the night. So luckily with like not working and stuff, it's been a lot easier for me. So I can sleep in a little bit. I used to just sleep in until about like 4:35 every day, and that's even on the weekends. Now I can at least make it to like 6:30. So I mean, that's the only downside, I guess, has been to training, is just the lack of sleep at times. But other than that, just going out there and doing what I love and being able to give this 100%, and then I can in return give him 100%. So I just would like to show him, what I do, how I put my life into it, and hopefully later on in his life he can see that and benefit from it.
Very, very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Especially growing up, with a parent in any form of martial arts, whether it be boxing, kickboxing. I mean, it takes an extreme amount of dedication to whatever sport it is. So he gets to see how laser focused dad was, and he gets to learn from that. I mean, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's no half-assing in this household. We don't half-ass things, because especially in this sport, you can get yourself hurt pretty bad.
Well, luckily for you, you're pretty good at this thing. 5-1 overall as a pro. How many AMI bouts did you have?
So I did 4 amateur fights with USA Boxing, which that's what a lot of the younger kids get themselves into. I only did 4 of those, so I have a real small AMI background. And then I did 3 of the amateur fights for Sparta, and then I turned pro. So I have 7 amateur fights. Not a very big amateur background.
Yeah, especially for boxing, because boxing, they usually go pretty extensive with the AMIs.
Some of those guys get over the 200s, 300 fights. So
yeah, that's pretty wild. But you like I said, you turn pro rather quickly, and it seems like it's paying dividends. Again, 5-1 overall. You're going to be competing against Chris Aguiaro. I'm gonna
Arguello, I believe.
Aguero. Yeah, we're gonna butcher it, and no offense, but I mean, I'm white, so those names get difficult, right? But what does this guy do well that we gotta pay close attention to?
So what I've seen him fight. I think we fought on a couple of the same shows, and he's fought on some of my friends' shows. So I mean, he doesn't have the prettiest of records, but I know that he comes to fight. He fights whoever, and he's fought on a lot of different promoters' cards. So he's always been on the downside of that. He's usually fighting the judges and the opponent at that. He's only been knocked out once, so I know he's got a chin on him. And I just say he's a tough guy overall, Southpaw. Most people have problems with Southpaws, but since I've been training at Genesis Training, Southpaw's like all I know, for the most part. It's all I've been sparring with like the last year, which when I spar with Orthodox fighters, it's a little different for me now. That's awkward. So I don't think I'll have too much of an issue with the southpaw stance. I'm comfortable with it now. I just know he's a tough guy. I know he's a tough guy. I don't know how hard he hits, and in fact, I'm not even worried about how hard he hits. I've been hit hard by world champions, and I haven't been down in sparring or a fight. So I guess we'll just have to just wage war with the toughness, see who's tougher.
Right on. Okay, so if you were explaining to a noob to boxing, or new to Sparta, or just new to seeing yourself fight, how would you explain your fighting style to somebody who has no idea?
That would vary now at this point in time, as you asked me today versus if you were to ask me 2 years ago. I've obviously improved and changed. Not changed my style, but I would say honed in on it, try to perfect it a little bit better. I'm always working on it. So it's never going to be the same. If my style stays the same, then I'm obviously not doing the right thing. So with the time right now, I would say I'm a little bit more patient, but I'm still aggressive. I was always an aggressive fighter, always the come forward. I didn't like to step backwards. I'd like to fight in the pocket. I never really stood on the outside and boxed people. That was never my thing, But with this fight, we might see something a little bit different, we'll see when we get in there. But my main style, I would say I'm a pressure fighter, aggressive for sure.
Okay, well, we all know how game plans go, right? As soon as you get hit, adrenaline kicks in, anger kicks in because you got clocked, and sometimes that game plan just goes straight out the window, and it's wartime. So I can definitely understand that. But definitely, I think you're right. If you hadn't changed, in the last couple years, or a couple years from now, then you're definitely not doing something right. So the natural progression that you're going through tells me that you're on the right track, and your record says it all. Like I said, 5-1, especially in boxing, it's very, very, very difficult to, stay undefeated within that sport. And a lot of guys, they like to pad their records with, easy fights where guys are like, 0-5, 0-6, in the sport of boxing, as they're coming up through the ranks. But, taking those fights, to me, would just be way scarier, because if I'm looking at somebody's record, and let's say they're 3-6, right? That tells me that the guy knows how to win a fight, but the majority of them he's lost. That record would scare the hell out of me, because if I'm supposed to beat this guy, what happens if I don't? You know what I mean? So boxing just seems like one of those, and it's happening more and more in MMA, that there was this guy who was like 12-0, and everyone he fought had maybe one fight. You know what I mean? So not saying that it doesn't happen in my sport of MMA, but I mean, 5-1 to get things started. I mean, that to me, that's impressive. You know what I mean?
You definitely have to have money backing you if you want to really be pushed forward and progress through the rankings like that to have an undefeated record. You know, those guys have these managers that will buy their fights for them. I'm not going to say every single one of my fights have been hard. I've obviously had to work for them. But there's also a learning on the job type of thing, you know, where you increase your opponents as you're going, you know. If you're getting to 13-0 and you're fighting a guy that's like, you know, 1-6 or something, I mean, that doesn't help you that much. You kind of have to increase as you go through, you know, the levels of yourself, you know. So I think with this next opponent, he's gonna allow me to work on the things I need to. He's gonna push me, and I think we'll be able to do the 6 rounds together. You know, it's gonna be a good test for me because he's got the experience. You know, so we'll see. But yeah, I understand what you're talking about with the records and all that. It's a grimy sport too at times.
Absolutely. Like I said, those records would just scare the hell out of me. I don't know how you guys do it. Especially for me, like when I was competing, I didn't have a manager. I booked all my fights myself and all of that. So I got screwed, of course, by promotions and whatever.
Oh, of
And
course, that's how that works.
had I had the knowledge I have today, 12 years ago, it might be a different story. But I mean, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. So how did you get into the sport of boxing?
Oh, let's see. I got into a lot of trouble growing up. A lot of trouble. I had a good upbringing though, you know, my parents and stuff, but it was just something I always stepped out of line, you know. In my 20s was pretty reckless, pretty rough. And then I ended up getting in trouble, doing a little time. And then once I got out, it was I needed some sort of outlet. So my buddy Nick Bushman took me to Strictly Boxing up here in Brighton, where I was living, and introduced me to Coach Rick and Coach Robert Lopez. And I've been with them ever since. It's just been that's what 20. I would think I was 27, so I got into it late, but yeah. So that's how that happened. Getting in trouble, needing a new outlet, and it's been great ever since. I haven't had trouble since then.
Okay, so did you watch boxing as a young lad? Did you do the whole behind the bar boxing? Did you like, were you a boxer as a young kid, or did you
No,
just
I
go ahead?
actually I wasn't. I didn't watch any boxing growing up really. And the funny thing is, I grew up playing ice hockey since I was a little kid. And I never even watched hockey. You know, I rarely even watch boxing still. You know, it's got to be a good fight, you know, and then I might replay it, learn something from it. But I've never been one to like watch other people do this stuff. I'd rather just do it myself. So, I mean, yeah, it was weird. I used to love hockey. I always thought I was going to go pro in hockey, and I never watched it. Never.
That's
Too
funny.
boring for me.
Well, I mean, coming from a sport like hockey, that already had to tell you that you were a tough son of a bitch, right?
If you say so, I would agree. Yeah, it was tough. I actually
Yeah.
got kicked out of the league for fighting too much. So
This is definitely your calling then.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, it was. I spent more time in the penalty box. So,
Okay, so what is the goal here? Because I know there's several different organizations, leagues, however they call them in boxing. I know there's more than just one. So there's more than one type of title that you can go after. More than one. What is the goal here for you?
the goal for me is, you know, I just taking it day by day. When I first got into this, I never thought that I was gonna turn pro or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, I turned pro, and I was like, cool. I did that, and then now I think as I'm getting older, my body's obviously not holding up the way it used to. Um, But I think I want to do a few more fights on the road, and try to fight on a big promotion. You know, I'm obviously not one of these 18, 19-year-old kids that was in the Olympics. So, I mean, you kind of got to recognize where you're standing at in this sport, you know, and it's not being not confident. It's just, I just know, you know, I'm not backed by the money. I'm not the top tiered kind of guys. I'm not this young kid that just came out of the Olympics. So, I mean, for me, I try to keep it in a reality. Like I know I could fight on, you know, some top ranked cards or something like that, but if it comes to fighting for like a WBC title or some, that's probably not going to happen. Sure, it'd be great, but I mean, it's not going to happen. You know, so I mean, let's keep it real. I want to do a few road fights. I'd like to fight some tough guys in their hometown, and then just fight on one of these big shows. I think that'd fill me. You know.
Wow. I mean, that's interesting because a lot of guys they get in this sport. I mean, I understand that, you know, we got into it a little late here, but a lot of guys get in the sport to, you know, for the glory, for the championships, and you just want to fight some tough son of a guns and go home. Like
Yeah.
I can definitely respect that.
A lot of people like they call it confidence. You know, I see it as different. You know, you could be confident, but I mean, at the end of the day, you got to be real. You're not going to be a fucking champion. Like I've seen a lot of these guys fight, and you know, we've all seen each other fight. And at the end of the day, you got to be honest with yourself. It's like it's not going to fucking happen. So cut the shit, go train, go fight, go have fun. You know, train like you're gonna fight for a championship, but you gotta be honest with yourself at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It takes a lot. Get one of
Well,
those top belts.
the one thing that I know that has propelled certain athletes is running their mouth. Okay. And I'm not saying that you do or don't, but I mean, is that something that you would, I mean, do you enjoy that type of shit?
You know, maybe when I was younger, that was cool and funny and stuff. But now, like, I was trying to watch Adrian Broner highlights yesterday, and he's a good boxer, phenomenal. But then as soon as he starts opening his mouth, it's like you lose all respect for him and you want to see him lose. You know what I mean? I don't like it. I don't really like to do it. You know, if you're gonna talk shit, let's just keep it quiet to each other. We don't have to broadcast it over social media. And then, you know, I don't know. I just don't like it. I'd rather just hit you in the face while you're running your mouth. So for me, no, I don't like it. No, I don't think it's that cool. Like the Conor McGregor's and stuff like that. You know, it could be funny at times, but sometimes it's too much. Just
No,
shut up and fight.
I agree. I agree. I
But it
think,
does get attention. It does get you the attention. I mean, there's always got to be that villain, you know. So I could see why people do it. You know what I mean? I could definitely see why people do it. It gets the attention. You know, you got to have some sort of a character in yourself in order to get recognized. If you're some stick in the mud, well, then you're just going to be a lower level guy. So
okay. And does it add any extra motivation when a guy's in there, you know, talking shit during the fight?
you know, I don't know. I think it could go both ways because I think the guy who's talking the shit, they're kind of hyping themselves up. And, you know, that makes like, I got to do good. I'm talking all this crap. Their confidence is gone. And then it can go, you know, bad for the other guy. He's like thinking too much of the shit talking. You know what I mean? And then he's not thinking about the fight. So, you know, it just depends on how you take it. You know, if you let somebody control your emotions, then you're not going to do too well.
Okay.
Then
Well,
they win.
all right. What are some things you like to do outside of the sport? Like we know right now at this moment, we're focused on boxing full time, so there is no 9 to 5, right? But what are some things outside of the sport that you like to do?
Right now, it's just hanging out with the kiddo and my lady. That's about it. this is taking up a lot of my time. I just focus on this. So I just came from the gym, and then after we're done here, I'm gonna probably go for a couple mile run and just do that. But I guess as I hit my 30s, it's more or less just the relaxing and the downtime that I enjoy now. It used to be, hey, let's go to the bar, drink some beers, get into a fight, and go home. Wake up the next day, do it again. So that used to be the old way, but now I just like to relax. I mean, do stuff around the house. I mean, I'm pretty busy, no job, but I'm still busy.
Right on, right on. So is there like you guys watch TV, or is there something that you do like in your downtime at home when you're not at the gym, just chilling with the family?
Yeah, we'll watch TV, hang out, or I'll do stuff around here, like fix things or, it's been kind of chill lately, since I've taken the time off of work. I used to go to work and then I'd go straight to the gym and then I'd come home and go to sleep. And that's how it was. I would get up at 4 a.m, work, gym, home, sleep. And that was the extent of it. And on the weekends and stuff, I would more or less use that as downtime to hang out and chill. So I'm busy with things. It's just I don't go out there and like play basketball or badminton or anything fun like that. But maybe we do some things here and there, but it just depends.
Well, I gotta imagine that not having to focus on the 9 to 5, the honeydew list is probably about this big now, right?
Dude, it's crazy. I've always been one to stay on top of everything. Like I never let laundry just pile up, and so it's like my list is usually I knock it out quick. It's done. We had a hot water heater go out last Sunday, and then I within an hour or two I had it taken apart, drained, and I was going to buy a new one, and I installed it. So I usually tend to get things done quick, and so that's a good thing. I don't usually have a lot of shit going on, or if I do, it's getting done. I'm not having to be told, and so it's nice. And it's weird not working because I used to find like I used to like going to work and like doing stuff. It just keeps me busy, and keeps me learning. But I kind of like staying at home too now.
I do not blame you at all.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to find ways to make money and not going to break my back at a job that pays shit or, could give a fuck about you if you're there or not.
What did you do before?
So before I did a heavy equipment operator in concrete, and then I also just came from building swimming pools. So I ditched them back in April, the ending of April. So yeah, I said see it to that. I've saved up enough money throughout the years where I was like I could take a few months off and be good to live. So
Well, that's good. And the family, how are they, 100% supportive of your career choice right now?
oh yeah, she's happy. She's still off of work. She goes back here in a couple weeks, so I'll be with the kid, so I can help out with that, So she's cool with that, and I have skills where I know I can go find a job. Like it's not an issue of me getting a good paying job or not. So I've worked enough over the years, take a mini retirement, and then my mom's retiring, so she'll be able to help with the kid, which she's pretty stoked about that. So everything's just working out good. Timing's perfect, So they're with me 100%.
That's awesome. Having that support system is, something that I like to learn about from fighters. Making sure that they have that support system, because I mean, not just family, friends and outside of the immediate family, relatives and stuff, helping you out and showing up to your fights and supporting you, helping out with meal prepping and let's talk about the weight here while it's on my brain. 154 pounds, right? So is that a difficult weight for you to make, or do you make it with relative ease?
I've never had a problem making weight. I've used to fight at 147. I fought at 147, 152, a couple times at 154. It just depends on what the promoter said. This one I said 154. I knew Chris was wanting to go down to 54s. He was fighting at 60s, and I was walking around at 180, so I was a little heavy there. So yeah, so I was like, 54 will be good. I could make lower, but why kill myself to do that?
Yeah.
Especially if you get older, the weight doesn't come off as easy. But it's actually coming off great right now. So everything's on. I mark on my calendars what I need to be at each week. I need to be 168 this week, 164, 162. So as long as I'm hitting those targets, then I'm good. And so far, everything's been perfect.
Well, I can tell you just from, this conversation, probably one of the biggest factors in this whole thing is not having the job, just being focused, and everybody around you just supporting it. You know what I mean? I think that just that weight off your shoulders alone is, probably one of the biggest factors. Not saying that you're not taking it seriously, because, I mean, you're getting into a cage where the guy's going to try to kill you. You're taking it seriously. But
yeah,
that's got to be a huge factor for sure.
It's a lot easier to lose weight when you're working, because at least the sun's beating down on me and I'm sweating and I'm moving around. So it doesn't come off as fast, but it's been easy so far. So I mean, I'm not too worried about the weight. I've made weight every single time, so I'll make it. You just got to stay focused and dedicated to it. If you're out there fucking around eating chubbies or something, it's not gonna go too good. But occasional cheat meal, not bad. But
I eat cheat meals like on the daily.
yeah,
But
that's your meal prep is cheat meals.
that's it. That's it. Literally, before I left work, I had a Klondike bar.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm about to eat chicken and roasted carrots. That's
That
what
sounds
I
good.
eat.
That sounds good.
Except my
Not
cooking's not
Klondike
that good, but
good.
make
Right
it.
on.
I pretty much eat to survive, not for the taste.
Okay. So one thing I like to ask all my guests, no guest gets a free pass on this one, right? Okay. So after you get your hand raised on June 26th over at Sparta, the Army versus Marines 12, what are you going to have for your victory meal?
Dude, I never have a set victory meal. The only thing I really get, so I always go grocery shopping the day of the weigh-ins, which is weird because I'm usually like hungry as shit then. And I usually, it's gonna sound gross, but I usually get hot dogs and Oreos. So I always gotta have Oreos. That's the thing. But as for the victory meal, I usually have a drink with my coach and then we go home. That's
Okay.
it. It's too late in the evenings for me to like want to hang out and stuff.
All right. Well, what's the beverage?
We usually just have a beer, but I'm not. I don't dig the way beers taste anymore. So I don't know.
What did
Maybe
you
a
drink
shot of
before?
some tequila or something.
There you go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. See, that's good. That's good. See, before I used to just drink, whatever I could afford, and now I'm a little picky bitch. And these IPAs with all the hops and stuff, I like all this bitter, hoppy bullshit. I know it sucks. It sucks,
That's
but
so white boy of you.
I know, and it's almost embarrassing to say that I prefer these hoppy IPAs over, the Coronas and Dos Equis. What I used to drink. I mean, I still drink a Rona. I'll still drink a Dose, but the hoppier, the better so far as I get.
You can have one of those and they give you a hangover. Like I've had those and they give me headaches for 2 days.
See, that's
I'm
me
not
and
good at.
Tecate. If I drink Tecate, Bud Light, or like Milwaukee's Best, like that is nope. I'll drink one and my head will explode. They're disgusting.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not much of a beer drinker that much. It'll be like 3 or 4 beers, and then I'm
Okay.
tapped.
Let me ask you 2 questions. Do you like carrot cake?
I do, of
Have you tried the carrot cake Oreo?
course. I've had all the Oreos, man. All of them. Except I seen the new ones, the s'mores. We were at Target the other day, and I seen s'mores. I haven't got to try that. I almost bought them that day, but I was like, no, keep walking. But I think I like just regular double stuff. The chocolate and the golden ones are the best.
Yeah, we
Carrot
bought.
cake was good though. Carrot cake was good, but then I got it a second time around, and I was like, man, that's a lot. It was like a lot to digest. It was too sweet almost. The flavor changed.
We killed it in a day. Me, my wife, and my kids gone.
Easy. They're so easy to get rid of. It's
Yeah,
never a problem.
not with Oreos, man. And it's weird because I never used to like Oreos, and now, like, as I get older, Oreos are like something that I actually want. I walk into a store and I'm like, Oreos sound good. That is what we are eating for
Oh
dinner.
yeah, yeah. That's dinner. At least have 6 or 7 of them after dinner for sure. If they're in the house, they're getting torn through. It doesn't matter. I can get rid of a packet in like 4 or 5 days.
Oh man, that's
By
easy.
myself. Yeah.
Well, I could do
So,
in one sitting a whole pack by myself. But again, I don't have to fight. I don't have to, go to a gym and, be all lethargic and all that shit. I don't have to worry about any of that. So,
yeah, I hear that.
well, before
Cheesecake
I leave,
too.
cheesecake. Oh yeah. Do they have a cheesecake one?
No, but that'd be awesome.
Mm. We need to send some emails or something. We got to get this out there.
Yeah,
I'd be 100% down with that because, again, cheesecake I used to hate as a kid, but now oh man, give me all the cheesecake.
for sure.
But before I let you go, I'd like to give you a chance to do some shout outs, man. So coaches, training partners, sponsors, management teams, family members, whoever you want, man. Go ahead and take the floor.
I just got to give a shout out to Coach Rick Lopez. He's been there since day one. He's stayed with me, and we keep rocking it. My buddy Nick Bushman, he's always there to help me out, and just the training facility that we're at, Genesis Training, Academy, and they've been awesome. Coach Jacob Ramos there is pretty badass, and MMA fighters that they breed them. They breed them there for sure. So that's about it right now.
We got no sponsors, man.
Maybe I'll have more shout outs come fight night, but we'll see. We'll
All
see.
right. Well, look, it's been a blast getting to know you, and much respect, man. I really through this whole conversation, just I respect you a lot. The way that you're going about your career, the way you take your training, and just everything that you got going on right now. 100%, you have my respect, and I wish you the best of luck on the 26th. This card is fucking ridiculous. It's gonna be bananas. I mean, that's really the only word I can think of right now. I might be hungry, but bananas, right? It's going to be awesome. Why don't they say like Oreos? It's going to be Oreos, or it's going to be cheesecake. Why does it have to be bananas?
Yeah. Bananas are all right in the morning, not after meals.
No.
They suck.
I
Banana
do
pudding.
yeah. Yes. Banana pudding or banana cream pie or banana sliced in your cornflakes. That's something my great grandfather used to do that I still enjoy. Weird.
Yeah. There you go.
But anyways, like I said, good luck on the 26th. I look forward to seeing you fight Chris, that guy, on the 26th for the Army versus Marine card that Sparta's putting together. It's going to be a dope show, and I cannot wait to see you, my man. So
For sure. Thanks for having me.
absolutely. So until next time, we'll be seeing you.
Right on, brother.